Welcome to another edition of Main Street TV. I'm your host, Stephanie Aylworth, City of Douglasville's Main Street Manager. I'm here today at the Douglas County Chamber of Commerce with Callie BOATRIGHT. How are you, Callie?
Good, Stephanie. How are you?
Thank you for joining me today on the program.
It's always a pleasure to be with you.
We decided to focus this day's program on your business in the downtown because originally the Chamber of Commerce was not located in the downtown service area. And can you tell us a little bit about your relocation to the downtown? Sure. And a little bit about the history of the Chamber?
Would love to. Originally, the Chamber was not located downtown. We were actually just off I-20 off of Fairburn Road. And at that time, that was a good location because there was business traffic, obviously, as there is today, coming on and off I-20. But it was more in a residential area. And so there wasn't a lot of other business that was going to draw people to our direction. Some people had a hard time finding us, and so it was decided by the board at that time that it was time to make a move. And so in looking around the community, the downtown location was definitely an excellent choice. When the board was thinking about it and trying to make a decision, this building became available, and at that time Regions Bank owned it. But this building actually has a pretty broad history. Originally, my understanding is that it was the original Douglasville Post Office. So at one time your mail came and went through this destination, through this location. And then at that time it was big enough, and of course, as we know now, we've got two post offices and bigger locations. This building was taken over by Regions Bank and was used by Regions Bank for some offices and storage. So really it wasn't being utilized for as much as it could be. The Chamber moved into the building in 2004, and after a complete remodel, they actually took the walls down to brick and they took the floor to dirt. So at that time, and you can see some original pictures that really show how much of this building they had to demolish and tear out. But as you can see, it was a great result. And what we're left with is a very new, modern Chamber of Commerce, which is in the center of everything. We're in downtown Douglasville, which means we've got great traffic. We have a lot of other businesses that are bringing other people down into our area, and we'd like to think that a lot of the people who find us then take some time to either eat at the restaurants or shop at some of the retail establishments.
Absolutely, and we enjoy having you downtown because some of your programming complements our programming, some of your events complement our events, and then we also do programming and events together. Right. And we found throughout the Main Street communities that those communities who are able to partner with their Chamber of Commerce are a lot more successful in bringing their business community together than those who don't work together.
Right.
And that's something that we kind of brag about that a little bit when we're outside of Douglasville.
Yeah, and I think we do the same. I know that, we're all in the business together to make sure that those businesses are successful. So if you and I can collaborate and work with all these downtown businesses, it's a great way to really give them sort of a team advantage with the Chamber and with Main Street.
Absolutely, and that's something when we are recruiting a new business, or if we do have a new business that does come in, one of the first things we do is say to them, hey, just our little piece of advice, please go over and join the Chamber because they have great networking opportunities. And I think that's something that this Chamber has brought to the area, specifically under your direction, that maybe existed but not on the level that it exists now. Sure. With the networking opportunities for small business owners in the community. And you guys provide a lot of those kind of opportunities. And tell me a little bit about some of your programming.
Sure. Yeah, actually, I think that's probably one of our favorite things to do. They say everyone loves a party, and for us, it's a party with a purpose, if you will. Our events, our networking events, and we've got 3 of them. We've got our networking events that happen as our coffee card exchange in the morning, our business after hours in the afternoon, and of course our luncheon as well. Those are all sponsored, and they are at different locations. Some are here. This morning we actually had an event here at the office. When we do those events, the nice thing about it is that our members do attend, and we've had attendance between 100 and 150 people who turn out to network with one another. And like you said, people like to do business with other businesses that they know. So if they can come out and come to an event where they get to know everyone a little bit, it's a great way for them to interact. And you must be doing a great job of telling your businesses to come over here because most of our downtown businesses are very involved with the Chamber.
Absolutely. And I think one of the other initiatives that you guys rolled out, not too recently, but something that's continuing on is the Buy Local program.
Right.
And that has been incredibly successful, and we capitalize on that as well. We consistently promote that with our downtown businesses and with, whenever we're out in the community, because I think it's so important that people realize where exactly their tax dollars are going. And if they want those tax dollars to have any kind of impact in their community, they need to keep those tax dollars local.
Exactly.
And buying local works perfect for a downtown because it's a different type of demographic of retailers, a different type of service area than, say, a mall or driving to Atlanta.
Sure.
We want to get the message out that, you know, supporting local also means supporting your downtown.
Right. And I think that, you know, it's a multiple message. You want to support those businesses, and of course our chamber member businesses we focus on extensively. But those businesses, when you go in and do business with them, they're able to be successful. You have a lot of organizations in the community who depend on them for contributions or for help for different things. They're able to participate in those. And you mentioned the tax dollars. I mean, that's huge. If I'm going to get gas and I'm up in Cobb County, I really do now think about trying to get back here because I want those tax dollars to actually come here to help our roads and our education and our police. I mean, it all benefits the community. And it's funny, even myself, until we started the Buy Local program and started really doing some analysis about it, I don't know that I would have given it a second thought. So we're trying to get that message out there to everyone. You know, if you're going to be doing something, whether it's as simple as getting gas or buying groceries, or whether it's, you know, buying a dress for the chamber banquet, do it here locally.
Absolutely. And, you know, being able to promote that kind of economic ideology change is just phenomenal. And the fact that people are kind of really getting into it is even better. And that kind of, you know, we'll transition a little bit into what you guys have as well for small businesses and specifically the Small Business Committee. And we're going to take a break, but we'll be right back with more Main Street TV. Welcome back. I'm here with Callie BOATRIGHT, CEO of the Chamber of Commerce.
Hey, Stephanie, it's good to be back.
And we are going to talk a little bit more today about the Small Business Committee because I think that's one of the committees of your many committees that impacts the downtown the most. And
Absolutely.
I serve on that committee as well as our Downtown Development Authority Chair, Jack Tyser. Tell us a little bit about the purpose and, you know, what it really encapsulates for the Chamber.
Be happy to. You mentioned the Chamber has a number of different committees. As a nonprofit organization, obviously we do a lot of our work through our volunteer leaders. The Small Business Committee actually sort of broke off of our Economic Development Committee, which has an original orientation 65 years ago with this Chamber. But for this Chamber, a lot of our focus is on small business because a lot of our members are small businesses. When we went through the Entrepreneur Friendly Initiative and became designated as a community that is entrepreneur friendly in 2006, we decided that we really needed to sort of put our money where our mouth is and start a small business committee made up of those small businesses and folks who are involved with them so that we could really spend our time focused on what they need. And it's been great. You serve on the committee, as you mentioned. We have had the opportunity to bring education and training programs every month. And what we've done since the economy, as you may have noticed, not been so great over the last couple of years, we've actually made a commitment to be able to bring those free of charge to our members. So what we do with these educational opportunities is each month we bring in training on a variety of topics, social networking, marketing, legal changes in the legal system, human resources. There are just a multitude of things. And we offer those free to our members and to the downtown businesses. And like you said, it's great because we can collaborate and really work together to get the word out about that. So that committee focuses a lot on training and education, but we also do things like expos, where we're able to have home-based businesses or ultra-small businesses come out and show what they have to be able to sell to the public. Sometimes that's the only opportunity they have to be able to put their stuff out there in a bricks and mortar type location. So that's a good way to do it too. One of the big things we undertook, you were a huge part of, and that was our small business startup kit. You probably remember working on that over the last year. We've gone through a couple of different iterations of that book, but it's great because it's online, and I will share with you, it's www.douglascountygeorgia.com. That publication is online. It's in a free downloadable form, But it was a way for us to get all of the information about how to get your business license, and how to go through permitting, and what the requirements really are to be able to put it up there. So it's everything from the simple stuff to, you know, do you really have the stomach to be an entrepreneur? Because
and I like that part of it too, because a lot of times, you know, with us, my office being in economic development and recruiting, we have people come in who have great business ideas, but we kind of put them through the ringer. We're like, well, what's your business plan? You know, what are you anticipating? Do you understand the demographic here? Because a lot of times someone will come in, they'll have this really great idea, but they just haven't sat down and planned it out on a piece of paper.
Right.
And the Small Business Kit allows them to do that. There's actually a survey that you can go through to see if you are actually ready to take your idea into practice and then into business. And then once you get through that process, the Small Business Kit also shows you exactly who to talk to, and it's basically a flow chart on how to go from idea to opening the door.
Yeah, and it makes a huge difference. I mean, we have people who walk in here and say, I have a great idea, I want to open a business, I want to join the chamber. And the chamber welcomes anyone with a business license, but of course these folks don't have one yet.
Yep.
So being able to really educate them so that when they're ready to open, that they're really ready to open.
Absolutely. The last thing that we'd ever want to see someone do is spend their hard-earned savings or their money on a business that completely fails.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the tragedy. That would be a tragedy.
You have to plan to be successful, and I think that's what that startup kit allows them to do.
Absolutely. And that's been really beneficial, and I know that people have taken advantage of that, and we also direct people in our office towards that because it includes not just city licensing, but county licensing and food licensing, and you name it. If it's those questions, those hard questions that, who do I talk to about this, it's in the packet.
Well, and we educated ourselves to put it together.
Yeah,
if you remember,
absolutely.
We had to find out some things because we had not started any business ourselves. So it was a great opportunity for us to kind of go through and learn a lot of that ourselves, too. But it is a great document.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The Startup Kit has been a big success for us, as has been, as you mentioned, the Buy Local program, which also runs through that Small Business Committee. We drive everybody to look for the red buttons or the red circles that show the Buy Local initiative. And so we've been fairly successful with that. But that committee has just done a wonderful job. Made up of volunteers. Our chairperson this year is Rhonda Silvas. And Rhonda has her own small business marketing company, so it works great to have her engaged in that group.
Yeah, and it really has been beneficial, not just to the community and the chamber, but also, like you said, it's been beneficial to our downtown as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And as a downtown manager, we talked earlier, it's so important that we have these working partnerships. And the chamber has been very beneficial in helping us with our programming and supporting us and basically with the revitalization efforts in downtown. So we're definitely thank you for being a part of our downtown.
Oh, we're happy to do it. We're happy to be part of it. We consider ourselves part of downtown and part of the revitalization effort. So that's something that we take very seriously, and it's only going to improve the entire community.
Yeah, and we're glad that you were down in the downtown, and we're very glad that you're here with me today. We'll be right back. Our next segment coming up is Local Flavors, and this month we're going to be highlighting the Center, which is a branch of Sam and Roscoe's, who are also chamber members. And recently you guys had your big banquet at the
we did. You know, and sometimes banquets get a bad rap for food. I mean, you never know. I bet this year's was absolutely stupendous, so I hope you get to taste or find out something about how he made that food. I'd like to have that every night.
Yeah, he's amazing. Sam and Roscoe's a great restaurant. So we'll be right back with more Main Street TV.
Hi, my name is Rosco Sayyar, and what I'd like to do is invite you to follow me to the kitchen so that you can see our staff that will be helping me and assisting me with getting the food ready. All right, we're going to start making the sauce for the steak dish that we're going to be offering. The sauce is a roasted garlic and red wine sauce. What we're going to do is roast some garlic in olive oil, and once that is done, we're going to do all the additives that we have for the sauce and let it cook for a couple of hours so it gets settled. What I'm going to do, just go ahead and put this in the oven right now. It will take about 15 to 20 minutes for the garlic to get roasted. We've gone ahead and cheated and have some roasted garlic ready. So we can go ahead and proceed with making the sauce. The sauce is basically roasted garlic, finely chopped shallots, good quality red wine, some beef base, and also assortment of mushrooms. We are using several different mushrooms for this sauce. We have shiitake mushroom, we have portobello tops, the regular button mushrooms, and cremini mushrooms. Umberto is going to go ahead and start making the sauce.
Next step we're gonna add some shallots. Let them get nice and brown for a couple minutes. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna add the wine so we can reduce the alcohol in it. Now it's ready. We're gonna add the beef stock to it. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna add a handful of mushrooms. Just let it sit there to reduce from like 5 to 10 minutes, and our sauce will be ready.
So while that is being done, what we're going to do is clean the steak.
All right, the first thing we're going to do here is to trim off the fat of the steak.
What we're doing, we're cleaning up the steaks. This is a cut of the steak that is known as tres major, very tender. Next to fillet, this is pretty much the most tender part. And once we're done with the cleaning it up, we're going to season it with salt and pepper. And then we'll saute it so that we can brown it up on the outside of the meat, and then finish cooking it in the oven for a few minutes. Takes just a few minutes for it to cook. And again, as I said, it's a very tender piece of meat. Use the scraps or the parts that we've taken out to make our beef stock. We'll use this with a lot of different vegetables and let it simmer for a long period of time, and then just get the juice out of it and use it for beef stock. So nothing goes to waste.
So we're ready right now. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna season our steaks, salt and pepper. We'll be ready to cook them. You gotta be generous on the salt and pepper because that's gonna give it a lot of flavor. So don't be afraid to put some extra if you need to. All right, now we're ready. We just want to give it a nice brown color on the outside. Usually takes around 5 to 7 minutes. While we wait on the meat to get dark and brown, we're supposed to. We're gonna move to the sauce and see how is it going. Our sauce, it should be ready in about 2 or 3 minutes. So by the time that we're done with the meat, everything will be nice and ready. Now that we have given them some color on the steak, our next step is gonna do, we're gonna put them in the oven for around 5 to 7 minutes. We're just gonna let them cook. All right, the first thing we're gonna do right now, we're gonna add some oil to the pan so the fish doesn't stick. Our next step, we have a nice fillet. What we have right here is a crab meat stuffing, which is basically like breadcrumbs, some assorted peppers, crab meat, and some spices. What we're gonna do, we grab our fillet, we season it. grab some of this stuffing, put it in the middle, and we nicely roll it. Make sure it's tight so most of the stuffing stays inside and doesn't come out. Alright guys, what we have right here is some garlic butter that we're gonna add to the fish. And the next step, we're gonna add some Cajun spices. They're gonna give it lots and lots of flavor. And that will do it. We're ready to bake these babies, put them back in the oven, and it should be ready in around 8 minutes.
This is the fish that it's already been rolled, and they're ready to be seasoned and baked. And that will be done again a couple of hours ahead of time. We'll par bake it, and then right before we get it out, we'll finish it up in the oven for about 3 to 4 minutes, and it's ready to go. It'll be very fresh, it'll be very tender. We have rolled 420 of these tilapias for tomorrow's function. So while that is cooking, we'll concentrate on making the sauce.
All right, while fish is getting cooked, the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make a sauce for it. What we're gonna need is some heavy cream, Parmesan cheese, some freshly chopped dill, and this is what we call white sauce, which is a base of white wine, chicken stock, Parmesan cheese, and that will do it. So let's go ahead and make it. What we're gonna do right here, add the heavy cream on the pan. Add our white sauce base to it. What we're gonna do right now, we're gonna add some roasted garlic to it. That we're gonna give lots of flavor. We're gonna stir for like 3 minutes so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. Basically what a white sauce does, it's gonna give it a nice thick mixture. Next thing we're gonna add some dill. And at the end of the process, we're gonna add our Parmesan cheese. That has to be done at the end of it, otherwise it's gonna burn. So what we're just gonna do, we're gonna let it sit there for like 3 to 4 minutes, and it'll be ready.
With the mashed potato, we're just going to make a small batch right now. When we do it in massive quantities, we'll use the mixer. It's a lot easier to do it in a mixer, but we're just going to do a very small batch right now just to show how it gets done. Again, it's done fresh from scratch. Potatoes were just cooked, and Umberto will show you how it's done.
All right, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna drain our potatoes. Transfer it to a mixing bowl. What we have right here is a mixture of milk and butter. I'm gonna smash the potatoes. Then we're gonna add some roasted garlic to it. Some ground pepper. And some salt. Just gonna mix all this together. Gonna add a little bit more milk and butter. And as you can see, this is how a garlic mashed potato is made.
So now we're going to do the vegetable medley. It's going to be broccoli and carrots. And we're just going to take the stems out. Of course, like Rosco said, there's no waste, so we're going to use these for soups and things of that nature.
We've got some water that is already boiling with some salt and pepper in there. What we're going to do, since the carrots take a little bit longer to cook than the broccoli, we'll go ahead and put the carrots in. And as the broccolis get ready, we'll add it on. Usually, it'll take about 6 to 7 minutes for the carrots to cook. And when we do large functions of this nature, we got to be very careful with the vegetables. We don't want it to be overcooked. So what we do, as soon as they're cooked a few minutes before we actually take it out. And they're a bit undercooked so that while they sit in the chafing dish, the process of cooking continues. And when the guests are ready to eat, by that time it will be in perfect shape and it's not overdone. We will be doing something very close to about 100 pounds of broccoli. We'll go ahead and add the broccolis in. Once the vegetables are cooked, what we're going to do is immediately drain it, add some seasoning and butter to it, and we'll be ready to be served. Tiffany, you ready to drain it? Vegetables are cooked. Thank you. All we have to do is just really add a little bit of salt and pepper. And some butter. Just mix it up. And vegetables are ready.
Okay guys, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Since presentation has a lot to do, you gotta make your dish look pretty. So we're gonna show you how.
You're getting all the range of temperatures in here. One thing that you need to also keep in mind, once the sauce gets added to the steak keeps cooking. So once you have a hot sauce added to that, it'll help with cooking it a bit further.
So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna add some of the mushrooms and garlic sauce. Just spread that along the plate. There you have it, guys.
This is the end product. The fish is cooked. And we're just going to go ahead and plate it. And Umberto is putting the finishing touches on the sauce.
All right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a nice portion of sauce on the fish. And that will do it, guys.
And this is the menu for this upcoming function. Stuffed rolled tilapias with crab meat stuffing, dill cream sauce on top, steak with roasted garlic and mushroom sauce, garlic mashed potatoes, broccolis and carrots. And that will complete the menu for this function.
Hal, I'd like to thank you for joining me on Main Street TV today, and appreciate you hosting it here in the Chamber.
Always happy to have visitors here at the Chamber.
And we're so grateful to have you in the downtown. Coming up on our next episode of Main Street TV, we are going to be doing an update on the current renovation projects that we mentioned earlier. So stick around next month, and we'll see you next time on Main Street TV.